So far, Mitchell Hodak is 2 for 2 in picking rooting interests that would eventually win their quarterfinal games in the 2020 Jeopardy College Championship. Will he go 3 for 3? Let's find out. Welcome to the final wager. I'm William Weyser. And before I get started on it, I do have to send a few apologies. The first apology goes to the name that I just mentioned, Mitchell Hodak. I was so rushed into doing yesterday's episode and having a great time while doing so, and I even grabbed Jumba and had him and I dance to Voodoo Mambo from The Pest, that I forgot to mention your name, and I'm sorry about that, but I just made up for it right now by mentioning your name, and I'll mention it again later. The second apology goes to Kayla Cowler. She's not the only one who mispronounced arrhythmia. I mispronounced it yesterday by saying that it was arrhythma instead of arrhythmia. It's a word that nobody says nor hears of every day. Deal with it. But I'm sorry to Kayla for mispronouncing it, and I'm sure that she's a little happier right now. And 3, don't you just hate it when your excitement gets thrown out? Near the end of the single Jeopardy round, there's a clue on Enneagrammed Dorm Essentials, and I believe it was under the $400 clue, and it was, you can't see, then suddenly you saw, hall fights. And I'm pretty sure that Londyn, who was not only my rooting interest, but is Mitchell's rooting interest also, I'm sure that Londyn knew the correct response, but her mouth and brain wouldn't work together, and that pesky S made her pluralize flashlight, making it flashlights, and she got dinged for it, and that broke my heart a little bit. And 2 things. 1, I know that that's just the way that it works when the mouth and brain refuse to work together, but it's like those 2 things are afraid that if they do work together every time, there never will be a chance for the mouth to think of one thing and the brain to think of one thing differently, and they'll keep going back and forth on this until somebody wins, and I don't care who wins. And 2, judges, I know what you have to do is right, and I don't blame you for that, but if I see you, and you ding me for a slip-up, whether it goes viral or not, I'm gonna ding all of you a lot of money, and I'm gonna ding all of you with an annoying buzzer right in your face. Okay, rant over, and let's just get on to the game. And so far, Londyn Lorenz is helping me pray for a miracle. She has 19,400. Again, a huge lead, but not quite enough to make it a runaway. Kylie has 10,400, and Alistair, I'm going to say this again to the 3 people who I uploaded their dismissal in March because of it. Darn those daily doubles. Their only interest is tripping people up. And everybody hates that. But at least he did get that last clue right, which means that he's here for final with just $400. And there's no shot at him getting a wild card. And Zing Zing Zingba is here, and he's going to help me out on some math. And let's see what everybody should do. What do you think everybody should do, Zing Zing Zingba? Well, first off, Alistair should wager everything. And if this were a regular game, if Kylie doubles up, she will have 20,800. So Londyn should wager just 1401. And even if she misses, she's still going to have way more than what Kylie has right now, which would be 17,999. So Kylie could wager 7,600. But I'd say for where she is right now, 10,400, not that sure of a wild card, so all in, baby. Thank you, Zing Zing Ziba. And speaking of all-in, like Alex, I noticed Alistair's all-in push, thanks to James Holzhauer. And at first I was worried that if every college championship contestant did that, strategy would come into play and it would be kind of unfair. So, let's take a look at what happened. Alistair missed and wagered everything but $1. Kylie also missed, well, drew a blank, and wagered $8,400, and that leaves her with $2,000. And Londyn, with the help of To Kill a Mockingbird and the teacher who taught her to kill a mockingbird, got it right with author Harper Lee and went for the lockout, which means that Mitchell Hodak is 3 for 3 in picking rooting interests that would win their quarterfinal games, and so am I guess. Alright, stay cutting. And speaking of 3 for 3, 3 sophomores in a row have won their quarterfinal games. First, Marshall Como from the University of Texas at Austin, Nathaniel Miller from Yale University, and now Londyn Lorenz from the University of Mississippi. But now it's time for the wildcard race. In first place with a commanding lead and 16,501 is Kayla Cowler. In second place is Emma Farrell with 6,799, and in this case I can say the word still. And she's just barely above Sophie Casarico, who has 6,400, and Kylie Weaver from tonight's game is on the bubble right now with $2,000. Which means, unfortunately for Sirad Hassan and Alistair Gray, no one cares if you two are history majors, but even if you aren't, you still are history. But on the bright side, you're both going back to Princeton University and UC San Diego with $5,000 each. Tomorrow we have USC, short for the University of Southern California, Northwestern University, and Hendrix College. And speaking of Northwestern, the representative of that school is the youngest competitor in this season's college championship, meaning that he's the only freshman to compete in that tournament. Will he do better than the only sophomore in the 2017 college championship and the 2018 college championship, with Caroline Trammell being the only junior and Jennifer Katz being the only sophomore? We'll see what Benny Keown does. I'd like to thank Zing Zing Zingba for helping me out on the final wager, and I will see you tomorrow for day 4 of the final wager for the 2020 Jeopardy College Championship, as well as day 4 of Grandpapa and Mr. Man Week, and Humba has a very wise decision to make. Will he pick Squeaky Seesaw or Space Rocket? Well, it's up to him, and we'll see what happens then, as well as we come close to the last of the quarterfinals of the Jeopardy College Championship. And I will see you tomorrow on the final wager. Bye, everyone.